Alright guys, TouchGrubber here, back again today. Hope you're all enjoying your Friday and looking forward to the weekend. And today we really have some disappointing news to discuss. I think this was kind of inevitable given the way we've been talking about things over the last couple of weeks or so. But this illness, which I can't say the name of on YouTube or I'm at risk of demonetization, so I'm just going to go with illness. But the issue here, of course, is that we're in a world pandemic situation right now. And pretty much everything is being cancelled. A lot of governments are taking very hardline stances on exactly what isn't and what is and what isn't allowed in terms of sporting events, like schools and all of this stuff. Potentially, you know, closing in some countries, not yet in others, but definitely possible. And to be honest, I'm kind of on the verge of saying, look, let's just go with the more hardline approach here and try and minimize the impact of this, because let's face it, this isn't something which is going to disappear in the next couple of weeks. In 2 months' time, we may be starting to come out of this, but this isn't something that's going away anytime soon, right? Which, you know, made this Overwatch announcement, which came out a couple of days ago, kind of surprising to me. And then, of course, the CDL followed up with a more hardcore stance of, look, we're cancelling all events for the rest of the season. Everything that was confirmed, all the home series, the mid-season, champs, all-stars, all of this stuff, none of it will be taking place because it's too much of a risk right now to have that many people in the same area. And of course, it's very much not considered wise to be doing an awful lot of traveling right now. And that's the thing, because some people are saying, oh, maybe, you know, just have the event going on, but don't have the crowd there, kind of what they did in IM Katowice, and then been doing some of the football or, you know, soccer events recently, just playing in stadiums with no crowd. But the problem is, you've still got to get players on a plane flying across the planet, and that's just not an ideal situation, going through airports and all of this stuff. It's just not advisable. And the problem is that a lot of these young guys, they won't have an issue with the dying from the illness or anything like that, but the problem is that it's transmittable and you can have it with not really showing symptoms. And it's not an ideal situation because you're potentially passing it on to other people. And we just want to try and get this over with as soon as possible. So I can understand this decision. I don't think it's a wrong one by any means. Everything is going down this route. However, there may be a silver lining to discuss, but I think it's a very frustrating, especially for a lot of you guys who are planning to go to these events, including myself, of course. I was hoping to go to the London one, and I'm sure many of you guys were planning to go to the ones that were coming up just very soon. And end of March, start of April, we had 4 back-to-back weekends of just constant Call of Duty, which would have been fabulous. We don't exactly know how it's going to go right now. It's going to be online, which is something which traditional sports can't do. So it may give us an advantage, which I'll talk about towards the latter half of the video. But let's get into exactly the announcements and what it means for you guys as fans, and what it means for some of the teams as well. I think that's going to be the discussion for tomorrow. Which teams can improve off this, which teams are going to go downhill, and exactly what format are they going to go for to ensure that teams have the best chance. Because a single elimination bracket probably isn't going to cut it due to the randomness that can be inherent in online play. Let's get into the video. I've ranted for quite a while there, but like if you guys enjoy, if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new for sure. Let's hop right into it. So this came out from Activision Blizzard, as Slasher says here on Twitter. So effectively they said, due to the current situation, they're cancelling all Overwatch League events scheduled for March and April. I saw this thinking, okay, March and April, like I'm sure this has affected you guys' lives already. There was a business trip we had planned to Milan in March. Of course, that didn't work out. Italy is in a crazy situation right now. That didn't work out at all, and I was thinking like March and April, this is kind of, maybe it's to some degree short-sighted. I think in honesty, the CDL has probably made the correct decision by just like canning the rest of the season. The Premier League in the UK has been suspended, the NFL has either been cancelled or suspended, or I'm not exactly 100% familiar, but something to that degree. It's not ideal, but what Pete, I'm not going to try and pronounce that real quick, says on Twitter here, to be clear, we will be playing matches in March and April. We cancel the events, not the matches, which is, it wasn't really clear in the initial statement. Initially, I thought like, damn, is this how it ends? Like, the season's over, the off-season starts today, and we're running through until Black Ops 5 comes out. Like, that would not have been ideal at all. But it does seem like matches will still be played and go ahead, as Call of Duty does their announcement here yesterday. So 8:38 PM, at least my time last night, they come out with the following. Make sure you can all pretty much see this. The health and safety of employees, fans, players, teams, and partners is paramount to Activision Blizzard Esports. We are continuing to closely monitor the illness situation, city-level recommendations and mandates, and all guidelines set forth by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. After careful review and working in close collaboration with our teams, we are shifting all currently scheduled 2020 Call of Duty League live events to online-only competition, effective immediately. For details on previously ticketed events, please visit host team websites and follow their social channels. The new online-only matches will be broadcast live to fans on YouTube. We'll talk about them in a second. Dates will be announced shortly along with tune-in details. Call of Duty League has seen firsthand the power of our live events in our inaugural season and will return to city-based competition in front of live audiences as soon as it is safe and logistically possible. In the interim, Call of Duty League is confident it will continue to deliver fans what they want, amazing competition between the best players competing at the highest level for the right to be considered the greatest team on earth. So, kind of a nice statement here. I think it's pretty much fair, but let's talk into some of the details because I'm sure a lot of you guys were maybe hoping to go to the Chicago one. 7,000 plus tickets have been sold for this, which is incredible. Frankly, everyone who purchases a ticket will receive a full refund. Now, if this is the case for everything, that's fine, but the problem is the people who have booked travel and flights and all of this stuff, it's a bit of a disaster. However, potentially with insurance and if governments and stuff come out and say, look, you can't travel or flights aren't allowed and flights start getting cancelled, then you can get the money back for that as well. But hotels and stuff, it's been difficult for me to try and gather some money back from the things that I haven't been able to do due to the situation. So, not ideal at all. This is what they now say. So on the schedule website, you used to be able to go on there and it'd say everything that was coming up for the rest of the season, but it's all been changed. Only 4 events ever got to happen in Modern Warfare. Really incredible. So upcoming competitions, Call of Duty League matches will be broadcast live on our YouTube channel. Now let's talk real quick about some of the alternatives here, because something that has been talked about, we'll get to that tweet in just a second, but this one from Slasher, Activision Blizzard is currently working with team owners across the league and the Overwatch League to reschedule each season in a streamlined manner by spreading games out over the week, though nothing has been finalized. So of course, about weekend events, having matches in the week would be of course similar to what we've seen with the league before. I don't like this idea because I would definitely want it to be a situation, I think Nick talks about right here in this tweet. I hope it doesn't just go to league matches because it's online. I hope we get proper online tournaments. I think that's the only good way to do it, because if it's just straight league matches, nobody watched it last season. Nobody will watch it again this season if there's no championship or trophy or, you know, something at least. A winner is a winner. Up for grabs, and maybe even you could make it a spectacle, right? You could get some of the players on for post-game interviews over like face cams and stuff like this, even though it is online. You know, Dallas, for example, are going to be playing in their home studio, all 5 of them next to each other, as if they're online, because that's how they play when they're scrimming and doing all the online stuff. So definitely there's potential to make it a hell of a spectacle. Hopefully they don't just go to league-based matches, because that would just be awful. It also makes it very difficult for me to cover things, right? Because the matches will finish at probably like 2 AM my time. Then I've got to get up super early, make a recap, and then go into work, which isn't what I do right now. I can make the videos after I come back from work, which is ideal. Wouldn't be able to do that if the videos are on in the evening, if the matches are on in the evening, which wouldn't be great. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'll try and adapt to whatever comes my way. But this is what I wanted to talk about for the last few minutes here then, and it's the potential silver lining to this whole situation, because unfortunately the situation is what it is, but everything is getting cancelled right now. Like E3's gone, NBA, NFL, you know, soccer, and all of the hockey leagues and basketball and baseball and all of this stuff, it's all gone, and same with, you know, football, soccer in the UK as well. Esports, you know, it's a classic scump gif from, I'm guessing this is back in the Black Ops 3 days based on the background here, something like that. But regardless, you know, the situation is that esports can still go ahead, whereas all the other traditional sports, how the hell do you equate for something like this? You can't play the games because you can't fly the players anywhere. However, esports has a unique opportunity, really, in that you can still play these games online. So while it's not perfect, in terms of the sporting environment, I know that it maybe doesn't quite equate fully, right? Because I'm not necessarily saying that NBA fans are suddenly going to be loving Call of Duty during the time that they aren't being able to watch the NBA. But there could be some overturn there, because I know that some individuals, they move back and forth. Like, I follow some sports, I follow some esports. If the sports aren't going on, maybe I am inclined to more follow esports. And not necessarily you're going to get people who would have watched baseball to come and watch Call of Duty, but someone who kind of is interested in baseball and interested in Call of Duty, probably going to spend much more of their time watching COD now, which could be a good thing. I'm not saying it's ideal at all, right? But it is a possibility that we try and get some new fans into the scene, and this could be a decent growth period over the next few months. in theory. However, I'm not holding out too much hope, but there is definitely that possibility there, and esports at least has that advantage in that sense over traditional sports. As JP Krez says, right, esports is a big opportunity to attract new fans who are planning on watching traditional sports matches and tournaments this spring. It'll be interesting to see how many people will be attracted to high-level competition of esports without traditional sports available. So it should be good. At the same time, of course, there's a risk of, look, this is online COD. We all know throughout history, online is more random than, offline COD, because you have ping that comes into play and connection and latency issues. Things that you don't get on LAN happen online, and the best team isn't going to win online all the time. And I'm sure a lot of teams in their head are going to think, damn, this is online, doesn't really matter, how am I even expected to win when I'm playing against Dallas Empire online, right? Which is what's going to happen, and people are going to get in their own heads, and the teams that are confident and the teams that are the best are still going to win. How much difference is it going to make? Who knows? But it's really, really funny to look at the Dallas Empire tweet I just wanted to look at in a second. But just before we get to that, so this tweet from Hipster Hamsam Squidward. Not going to lie, I'm imagining esports investors the doomsday scenario with a great sigh of relief when their teams are still providing entertainment in a time where the other investments aren't doing so good. And this is a nice way to look at it from the business angle as well. Like looking at the investors, they've got fingers in multiple pies, the NBA and other leagues, and they're also invested into esports in a period of crisis. The NBA team they're doing nothing in terms of promotion or playing or anything. That money is just sitting there stagnant. However, in Call of Duty, the brand is still still turning over, right? Which definitely sets a good precedent going forwards, that if something like this were to happen again, that esports is almost a safe investment if something crazy happens. I'm not saying esports is a safe investment by any means. I don't think that's the case. But in this sense, in this global pandemic crisis situation, it definitely has its advantages, right? Not like this is something that comes along very often, so probably not that much of a big deal. Then tomorrow, I did want to talk about which teams are going to get better, which teams are going to get worse, because there's some players that have been noted for being onliners, right? And Dallas Empire is the biggest name here. Blast, of course, is one of the individuals. Quite interesting to say that Dallas are onliners, given that they have, like, Crimsix, the most winningest player of all time. Clayster, who's up there, won champs twice. Then you've got the rest of the guys who come, Illy and Shotzi. Illy, you can definitely make the argument, but Shotzi won the Halo World Championship on LAN, and Hook has won championships in Halo as well and done very well in Call of Duty on LAN for a long time. Illy's probably the only real guy. But Dallas come out with this meme, and this I thought was really good, to be honest. Just making light of a horrible situation, to be frank. But people, of course, calling the Dallas Empire onliners, given how good they were online at the start of the season. Didn't win the first couple of events, just won this one, and now everything's going online. Illy the Undertaker's back in business. I'll probably share with you a couple memes in tomorrow's video. But an interesting situation regardless. Be intrigued to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Are you still going to be watching this season? I think there's definitely some exciting storylines to follow up on here. I just hope that it doesn't go to a league format. We've put all this effort into getting this into a tournament style, and it's been fantastic, to be honest. There's definitely some things to improve on, but it's come a long way. And hopefully we don't go back to a league format, because that plus online would just kill Call of Duty, to be honest. We wouldn't kill it because no one's watching any other sports, but we've got a good opportunity here, I feel, to grab some people in from other sides. That's not the way to do it, in my opinion, but I don't make the rules. Thanks for watching, as always. I'll see you next time.